Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam. So some of you are on the YouTube. Make sure you've muted it, as you're going to hear an echo and it's going to go crazy. Okay, Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. I know Jory just did a surah there, but Emza, can I get you to get started with an opening, please?
Opening? All right. Just give me one moment. On my honor, I promise to do my best, to do my duty to God and the Queen, to help others at all times, and to carry out the spirit of the Scout Law.
Thank you. Okay, so let me just get started here with some administrative stuff. As you all hear me talk about every week, we have our fundraiser still going on, Scout Popcorn. So if you haven't bought your caramel popcorn, or I think they have olive oil on there too, which I think your parents might like, do head over to the website. It is, oh, this is in the way. So you're going to go to scoutpopcorn.ca, and then when you're checking out, select the group, 392nd Thorn Muslim Scouts. There's different menus you can get from there, actually, different types of popcorn and different flavors, so definitely do check it out. Okay, and then I'll get my screen back here. So before we get started here, everybody's got their materials. Make sure you have paper and markers and pencils or pens, whatever you're using. Today we have Sister Sarah Maklai joining us, who is a calligraphy artist. She's done some amazing work. I was actually going to share something of hers here. Hold on, let's see. So that's her Instagram page. If you're not following her, please do so. She's got some amazing work on there. So hopefully she'll guide us through into making something amazing today. Inshallah. Oh, I think my screen sharing is paused. There we go. Share screen. There we go. We can see the Instagram now. So for those of you that haven't followed her, that are watching on there, do check it out.
Wow.
She's made some amazing work. Okay, perfect. I guess without further ado, I won't waste everybody's time because I'm sure everybody's eager to get into it. Sister Sarah, the floor is yours. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Assalamualaikum, everyone. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And thank you, Brother Irfan, for that really, really nice introduction. I'm really excited to be here. Who else is excited? Raise your hand. I hope everyone. Yeah, okay. Inshallah, we'll be making. So what I planned for you is to practice a little bit of faux calligraphy, which is like the real calligraphy, but it's easier to do with any pen. So you can use any pen, any pencil that you have, and we can create some amazing artwork. So today I actually made a really quick sign for my room. You can do, you can make a sign for your own room. You can make a sign for your brother or sister, and yeah, we'll go from there. So we're going to actually start with, I'm going to spotlight my other screen, and then, there. Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. So here we have the faux calligraphy letters. Now, I know if it seems very, scary to any of you, that, oh my God, how am I going to make this? Don't worry, we're going to run through it together. But what I would like you to start off with is grab a piece of paper, a blank piece of paper, and your pen. And what we're going to actually start off with is the basic rules of calligraphy. Let me move this over. I'm going to turn my video off over here. You're just going to hear me. Okay, here we go. So we have our paper. Now, what I want you to first remember is for calligraphy, the lettering looks a lot like cursive. Have any of you seen cursive writing before? Yeah? So it looks a lot like cursive, but where it's different is that in cursive, you know how your teachers are always like, you can't lift your hand off the paper, because in cursive, that's not allowed. In calligraphy, it's all allowed. So don't feel scared to like lift your hand off the paper. Rather, it's actually better for you because it's going to make your letters look even prettier when you lift your hand off the paper in the middle. So there are 7 basic strokes of calligraphy. And these are the 7 basic strokes. So we have stroke number 1, number 2, number 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And using these strokes, we can actually make every single letter that I have written over here. So to start off, I want you to start off with stroke number 1. So I'm just going to leave that on the side so you can see that. We're going to start off with stroke number 1, which is a diagonal line. It's just a straight line. So I just want you to make a straight line from the top. We're going to drag it downwards, make a diagonal line like that. I hope that's, visible enough. I'm not sure if I can zoom with you. Yeah, okay, perfect. Awesome. So we have a line going down diagonally. Now, because we're using faux calligraphy, we're actually going to thicken this stroke. So I want you to just thicken this stroke a little bit. As you can see, I'm actually creating a second line, and then you can actually color that in. I'm going to switch my marker. So we're just going to color that in to make it look like a thick stroke.
Can you use pencil?
Yes, you can use pencil as well. It's just going to be a little lighter, but that's perfectly okay. And by the way, throughout the process, if any of you want to show your work, please feel free. Just let me know because I might not be looking at the screen. So maybe just say, Sister Sarah, I would like to share, and I will, take a look. All right.
Sister
And you
Sarah,
can practice
I have a
the stroke.
question.
Yes, go ahead.
Depending on the type of the tip you use, like I'm using a dual pen, do I need to color it or just do a stroke?
If it's a dual pen, then you can just go down and it's a thicker stroke itself.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, if you're using the brush side. If you're using the other side, you can still, yes, perfect. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do your lines have to be like perfectly straight?
Not at all. Because we're practicing, it doesn't have to be straight at all. And most of the time you can usually fix it up. So don't worry if your lines are not completely straight. We're just practicing right now too, right? So you can make many, many lines like this just to practice it. But we're going to move on to stroke number 2, which is similar to this one, but we're actually going to go up and then come down. So it's like a little curved line. However, for calligraphy, we usually write on an angle, right? And so this is on an angle and so is this. So once we've made this line right here, we're going to thicken the downstroke. Let me run through what I mean by the downstroke once again. So when I'm writing, my pen goes up and then it comes down. And so because my pen comes down on this line, I'm going to make it thicker. So I made a second line right here and I'm just going to color it in. There we have stroke number 2. I'm going to show you the next stroke just because it's very similar to this, but if you're still working on number 2, don't worry. You can still continue working. Stroke number 3 is just the opposite of this. So we're going to start off with moving our pen down diagonally and up. It's like the beginning of a U, the letter U. Is everyone able to follow so far? Okay.
I just need a little bit more time, please.
Okay, no worries. I'm not sure if you guys all noticed, but when I wrote the faux calligraphy, there's actually just I didn't fill in the lines. I just left it the way it was. I'm going to actually bring this closer just so you all can see. I didn't actually, color it in, but you could. Sometimes I actually kind of like it just to leave the lines the way they are. So you can totally color it in. Okay, we're gonna complete this stroke, but we're gonna come back to it. So if anyone is, still on the first, second, or third stroke, do not worry. We'll still practice it a little bit more. So for the third stroke, as you saw, we went down and then up. So which side do you think we would thicken? This side or this side? So side number 1 or side number 2? Anyone want to?
Side number 2.
Side number.
1, I mean.
Perfect. And that's because we moved down on the first stroke. So we're going to move down and thicken this first, the side that goes down, and then leave the side that goes up the way it is. Just color it in. I hope my marker does not run out. If it does, we'll just switch colors. There we go. So I'm just going to number them just so we can see. Stroke number 1, 2, 3. For those of you who want to try the other ones as well in advance, if you're very, very quick at it, go for it. We will be going through them though. If you want the guided version, then we're going to be doing that next. Number 4, the stroke is a little curved line. So it's almost like a squiggly line, but only one squiggle. So we start from the bottom, move our pen up, down, and then up again. Just like that. I'm actually tending to go downward. My line is slowly moving towards, the bottom of the page. And now once again, we move up, then down, and then up. So we're going to thicken the middle section because our pen moves down. So I'm just going to thicken it right here. And then color it in.
Can you give us time to do this one?
Yes, sure. If anyone has any questions in the meantime, please let me know. Or why don't I actually give you a little bit more of an introduction, because I realized I didn't really talk too much about that. So I have been doing calligraphy for around almost 4 years. Wow, that's a long time. I didn't realize time flies. But I've been doing it for 4 years. I guess you can call me self-taught because I used to watch people do calligraphy and different, pictures of calligraphy, and I would try doing it myself. And slowly but surely, I kept improving. And I'm still learning even today. There's times where I'm not very good, or my hand is very, very, very shaky. But at the end of the day, if you're practicing, practice makes perfect, right? Or practice makes progress. So we get better and better the more we do something. And that's exactly where I am today. So I'm sure all of you, if you are interested in calligraphy, which I think you are because you're here today, keep practicing and you will get better and better every time. Okay, I hope I'm not going too quickly. I will go to the next stroke, but again, if you're still on this one, continue working on it. If you want to just watch me do the next one and then try it in a little bit, that's good too. Okay. All right, so for stroke number 5, we have a little O. And so we're going to do exactly what we do to make an O. We're going to make an O and then thicken the downstroke, just as we have been doing for the other ones as well. So we're just going to start at the top, make an O, and it looks a little diagonal because, again, calligraphy is written on an angle. So it's more of an oval O. It's not a circle. And now we're going to thicken the downstroke. It's just this left side of the circle. There we go. and then color it in. Does anyone want to share what they've done so far? It's okay if you've not done all the strokes. Whatever you've worked on so far, does anyone want to share? I see some, I see, wow. I've seen, there's a lot of really, really good work. And the colors that everyone's been using. Very nice. Wow, thank you for sharing. Everyone who is sharing, thank you. Very nice. Wow, okay. I'm glad I see more than one stroke of each type because, you know, that means you're practicing, which is really good. Okay. Awesome. So we'll move to stroke number 6 and 7, which are, again, very, very similar. It's just flipped. So stroke number 6 starts off with, it's almost like a, I guess like a bunny ear, a sideways bunny ear, you can call it. It starts off on the bottom. You make a little bunny ear, I'm going to call it that. And we connect it to where we started off. And then once again, who knows the drill? What stroke? Yes. I'm not sure if I can say your whole name. So M. Is that how you refer to them?
It's Myra.
Myra. Okay, so I can call. Okay, perfect. All right. Yes, go ahead.
You thicken the down.
Perfect. And which side is the down? This one or this one?
Oh yeah, that one.
That one. Perfect. Awesome. You've really been listening. There we go. Make it thicker, and then we're just going to color it in. And now the last but not least, stroke number 7. We're going to do the exact opposite of stroke number 6. So we're going to start from the bottom. It looks almost like a J, but again, an upside down bunny ear. We're going to call it that. So we will start by going down first, making a diagonal line going down, bringing our pen back up and connecting to where we started. And then as we heard Myra say earlier, we're going to thicken the downstroke. And if your lines are not too straight, do not worry. My hand shakes a lot as well. So don't worry. We're going to be practicing for that reason, right? But once you've created these 7 strokes, they're the basic strokes, you can create any letter. So if somebody wants to give me one letter of the alphabet, we're going to use these basic strokes and create it and see if we can do that. Yes, Mahdi?
F.
The letter F. Okay. All right. So for the letter F, we're first going to start off with, let's go with this letter, this stroke. We're going to go the upstroke. So we have, I'm going to write it down here. Let me write in a different color because I don't want it to interfere with our letters. We have the color blue. Okay. For the letter F, we're going to bring our pen up. So this part we don't see in the basic strokes, but you'll see where it comes in. Now we're going to use stroke number 1 and bring our line all the way down. All the way down. And of course, we're going to thicken it. So we're going to thicken this part. And now we're going to bring our pen back up. And leave a little tail. I like to call this the tails because they have two tails. They have one where the letter starts and one where the letter ends. Now this is more of a fancy F. We're actually going to do another F just to, for those of you who do not want to make an F like this, again, using the basic strokes. So I'm going to start off again with stroke number 1 going down. I'm just going to stop it there. Thicken the downstroke. And we're going to do a little curved line just for the line of the F. So again, in calligraphy, you know how everyone's handwriting is very, very different. The same thing goes for calligraphy. So this is the way that I write the letters, the ones that you saw, all of these. But everyone has a different style. And so the more you practice, the more you develop your own style. So just because your letter does not look like somebody else's, do not feel bad about it. It just means you have a different style in calligraphy. Okay. I also want to do one more letter well, we have the letter O over here. We all know how the O is written, but letter A. The letter A would use, does anyone want to guess? There's a few strokes that it might use.
Does it use number 2?
Yes, it does. Wait, let's see. Yes, it does. You're right. Part of it. Or not exactly stroke number 2. Something around stroke number 2. I think yes. Stroke number 1. Yes, that's one of them. What about the part where the A curves? Let me actually show you. Stroke number 5. Yes. Let's show you. There's one more, which is very close to stroke number 2.
5.
5 and one more.
3.
Yes. So we have stroke number 5 and stroke number 3. Also stroke number 1. But it's more so this just because this is the entire A. So we have stroke number 5. We're going to create that. Thicken the downstroke. And then we're going to use stroke number 3. There we go. And thicken the downstroke once again. There we have a letter A. Okay. So for those of you who want to practice just the strokes or like different letters, I will leave this out here. Feel free to screenshot if you would like to, have them as reference. But for those of you who want to, practice a specific word, we're going to be doing that right now. So that way you can focus on a few, set of letters and practice those a lot. And because yes, a letter S, yes, we will actually be going through specific letters in just a little bit. Okay, so then I will go through that one in a few minutes, if that's okay.
Can I show my letter F?
Yes, for sure. Yes, for sure. I'm not sure who's speaking, so just please be patient with me. I'm gonna try to find who is speaking just now?
Myra.
If you want to show something, make sure you raise your hand so Sister Sarah can see you. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. Let's see. Go ahead. I'm looking.
For the 7 basic strokes, I want to take a screenshot, but I can only see the first 3 of them.
Oh, okay, sure. Very nice, Myra. I will show you all the 7 basic strokes as well. Here we go. Should I keep it close or wait? Let's just, here we go. Okay. Is this a bit better?
Can you just put it down beside the other one?
Does it work?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
You.
Thank you. You all are very good guides. Okay. A few more seconds, and then I will move on to the next activity we're going to be doing. All right. Okay, I hope everyone has gotten a chance to screenshot. If not, I will leave it up in a little while again, and you'll be able to take a screenshot. I'm going to move this for now. So because today we'll be creating door signs, or you can write any word really, but this is one thing you can do. It's just an idea. We will be practicing a specific word. Now, what that word is, it's up to you. If you all want to choose your own name, that might be really cool, and you'll learn how to write your name in calligraphy. But if you don't really feel like doing your name, you want to choose another word, feel free. So I want you to write somewhere just really roughly what your word will be, so you know every letter that's going to be used for it. And you can make sure to get the spelling right as well.
Can you show the page of the letters again, please?
And once everyone has a word that they want to practice, I'm here to help anyone with specific letters they want to try out. Or if everyone wants, we can go through every letter, which is quite a lot, but I don't mind if that might help everyone. Yeah, but if you have a
piece of paper, because my paper has lines on it.
sorry, can you repeat that again?
Can I go get a plain piece of paper because mine has lines on it?
For sure.
It-
Oh, very nice, Mandy. I see it.
I have
Very
a question.
yes.
When you're writing the letter F, because I want to try and write my name, for the letter F, it's going to be the first letter. Do I do the first one that shows or the second one?
For this one?
Yeah, for the letter F.
So the first letters over here are all capitals. They look very, very similar to the lowercase ones, but they're all uppercase letters. And
Okay.
so, yes, you can use the first one for a capital F, and if you want a lowercase, you can start like that.
Okay, and how do I attach the capital F to like an A?
So in this case, the capital F won't attach. So you're going to keep it separate and then just start the A from scratch again.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
And no problem. And Hadi, do you have a question?
In calligraphy, when you write a word, is it like cursive that you have to join it, or is it like normal words that you don't connect it?
So thank you for asking that question. I realized I did not cover that. So yes, it's very similar to calligraphy because the letters do connect. I'm actually also going to find a few examples that I've created and show that to you as well. But maybe I should write an example of a word. So let's try the word Scouts, just because we are in the Scouts program right now. Okay, I'm going to write the word Scouts. It's going to be a little bit quick, so please don't feel, worried if I'm going a little too quick, just as an example. Usually what I do for faux calligraphy is that I just write the whole entire word and then I thicken the downstrokes all together. And that just saves me some time, but you can do it one by one as well. Ooh, my hand is shaking slightly. There we go. Yeah, I took a lot of space for the beginning part of the word and the end part is a little bit squishy, but that's okay. And now I'm going to thicken all the downstrokes. So what I usually do is hover my pen over the letter and I just retrace, without actually touching the paper, the letter to see where the downstrokes are. So I'm going up here, so not going to thicken it. Then I'm going to thicken this downstroke, attach it to the thin line. Move on to the C, I move down here, so I'm going to thicken the downstroke. Same with the O, thicken the downstroke. My O looks a little bit different again because over time I developed this style of the O, but you can also write an O just simply like this with a little curve at the end.
Can you show us how to write Scouts again?
Yes, for sure.
I tried to follow you along. I don't know if I did a good job.
Okay, I was going a little quickly.
Go
Let's
real-
try. No worries. I'll try once more. If anyone else wants to write Scouts as well, this is practice time. All right, I'm going to change my color again because it's more fun to be colorful. Okay, I'm going to use the color green. Okay, so we're going to start off with the S. The S has a little loop in the beginning. You can also just start with the, oh, it's not very, is it visible or is it becoming a little blurry? I'm not
Just
sure.
went a little bit blurry. I'm sure it'll catch up.
Okay, all right. I hope you can still, fairly see the line well. Okay, we have a little loop right there. We're gonna bring our pen down, make an S, and I usually just come over the first line and I create a little dip right there.
A little slower, please.
For sure, I'll do it one more time. So the letter S, I'm going to bring my pen up, lift my pen off the paper. Then I'm going to start again at the top, bring my pen down and around, and leave a little tail to attach the next letter to. And don't worry about the thickening right now. You could, if you want, you can thicken the downstrokes right now, or you can just do it at the end. Okay. I'm gonna move on to the next letter. I'll do it slowly, so hopefully if anyone is catching up, you can catch up. For the C, we're gonna start with the top of the C right here. I'm actually gonna show you what the C also looks like. Right there, but because this is already, the tail is already here, right? We have the tail of the S, which becomes the tail of the C, the entrance stroke of the C. We're gonna start with the top of the C right here. Make a C and leave the tail. Oh, I could have written up there, it's okay. Again, for those who missed it, we're gonna start from the top of the C. Bring your pen down and let your pen just leave a little tail at the end.
So keep practicing, right? Like I'm doing it multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
So have it like a bunch of times there and just follow along so you can keep practicing.
And when you do the letter S as well, if you want to also practice just the S, as Brother Irfan had actually just shown you, S and C together. And then once we add the next letter, you can practice the 3 letters together and keep going like that. Okay, for the next letter, we're going to do an O. So now I'm going to attach the O to the little tail we have right here. I'm going to bring my pen down and around, make a little loop. And there we go. Once again, a little bit more slowly, I'm going to bring my pen down and around. I'm going to make the loop and then leave a little tail at the end.
Teacher,
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to write my name, and how do you connect an H with an A?
H with an A, so H is first. Is that a capital letter or not a capital?
Capital, yeah.
A capital letter. Okay, so for the capital H, you see this little tail right here?
Yeah.
We're going to connect that to the A. So, all right, so let's say we have a capital H. I'm not sure how you drew the capital H, but whichever way you did, if you have a little tail at the end, we're going to then connect the A like so.
I have
Okay.
a question.
Yes? Okay, perfect. Somebody else had a question?
How do you connect the N with an O?
N with an O? Okay, we'll do that just now. Okay, so we have an O.
Yeah.
All right. Now for the N, we're actually going to use stroke number 2. And we're going to move upwards a little.
The L.
Sorry?
An N before the O.
Oh, an N before the O. Okay, so we start off with an N, right? We start off with an N like so. You see the little tail at the end right here?
Yeah.
We're going to attach the O like this.
Capital N, because it's the first letter.
If it's a capital N, the same thing goes. So if this is a little tail right here, we're just going to attach the O like that. So
There's supposed to be a little tail at the end of that?
if it's this N, then no. But if you wrote an N, for example, a capital N like this, then you could attach it. But if it's usually a capital, we don't attach the letters for the most part. So you can just write an O separate. Yeah? Okay, perfect. All right, we're going to go back to the Scouts. We're going to add the U after O. So we have a downstroke, curve upwards, and then make the exact same movement again. So two little stroke number 3. And then I'm going to do it once more. So we have going downwards, bring it up, and another line moving down and up. Soon we're going to have all the colors of the rainbow. I have a whole pack right here, slowly using every color. Okay. Now for the letter T, we're going to start at the top because the letter T is a little bit longer. So we're going to start as high as you can right here. Going to bring our line down and let the tail be there. This might look a little confusing. So usually we need to like slow down and see if we have enough, we've covered every letter completely. And so we do know we have a U right here and then we have a T. So we're not missing any letters. And I'm going to make a little line for the T. I'm going to do it once more. So the T, we're going to start from the top of the T, move downwards, and then leave a little tail at the end. And again, add the line. My lines are usually a little, a small little wave, but you can also have a straight line.
This is a lot like cursive.
It is, exactly. It's actually, if you know cursive, it'll give you a very, very big advantage to calligraphy because the letters are very similar and you can change them. You don't have to at least keep your pen on the paper, which is great. But yes, it's very much like calligraphy. Like cursive.
I just learned cursive in school.
You just learned cursive in school. That's awesome. So you can use all your skills from cursive and also try to do, more calligraphy.
I'm glad they still teach cursive in school.
I learned it in grade 3.
You learned it in grade 3. Very nice.
Show you my N.
Yes, for sure. And can whoever's speaking please raise your hand just so I see who you are? And then, okay, perfect. Oh, that's a very nice letter. Oh, I can see you're thickening it very well. Okay. All right, now for the last letter of Scouts. I mean, you can leave it at that, but Scouts with an S, we're going to add at the S, but we're actually going to start at the top this time. So we're just going to make a little curved line. Okay, my line is not connecting. I'll show you what to do in that case too. So we're just, I hope you caught that. I'm going to do it once more. But because my line is not connecting, I'm going to cheat. It's not really cheating, so I'm just calling it cheating. It's not really cheating. We're just going to connect our line ourselves. Because many times we end up making the tail a little too short and we have to go back and fix it. So it's not the end of the world. We're just going to connect the line to the letter that we've just written. Once more for those of you who didn't catch that, because I was speaking a little too much, I'm going to extend my little tail before I write the S. And now I'm going to start at the top, so a little bit higher than the tail. I'm going to make a little curved line and bring the line out to have a little tail at the end.
Can I go get my markers?
Mm-hmm. Are you done with the pencil? Are you going to be outlining it?
Yeah, but I need my markers because I'm very nice.
Okay, for sure.
Or can I use pencil crayons instead?
Yes, anything.
I have.
Okay, yes. Someone have a question?
Yeah. In cursive there are underground letters and sky letters. Is it the
Mhm.
same for calligraphy?
It's the same for calligraphy. I'm not using lined paper, but exactly. So you see how stroke number 6 and 7, the one stroke number 6 has a sky letter because that's the top, right? It's above the line. And stroke number 7 would be an underground. I see a few people sharing their work. Sister Thyra, thank you very much. That's very nice.
Well, let's see what everybody's been working on.
Sister, I just wanted to confirm. So am I okay connecting those letters?
So the capital T,
Uh-huh.
you could connect it. Usually we wouldn't connect it because it's a capital, but I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
again, you know, it's very flexible in that sense.
So you're suggesting not the capital, but the lowercase should be connected, yeah?
Exactly.
Oh,
So there are
okay.
some capitals that actually work well to connect. For example, the B, because it has a very, you know, we can see the little tail right here. But there's some letters, for example, the F or a T, that, I mean, you could have a little tail, but sometimes it doesn't look very, you know, natural to have a tail. So if you added a tail, you can totally connect it. Does that make a little more sense?
I wrote
Again,
my,
flexible. So
I
yes.
wrote my name in calligraphy.
And I saw a few others as well. I think Fatima and Myra, I saw your work. Very nice.
Can you show me how to write my name in calligraphy?
For sure. Who would wanted to share their name just now? I will.
It was Hadi.
Hadi. Okay. Find it. Oh, I think I see it. Oh, very nice. I love the way you did especially the A's. Very, very nice.
Thank you.
You're all doing really well, especially if it's your first time and you're doing this well. I don't know where you're going to be like in a couple of months, but I'm sure you're going to be even better than me. So keep practicing. I'm sure I would love to see your progress too. So, okay. And who wanted me to help them with their name?
I did.
Okay, perfect. So we have Myra. Okay. Let me grab another piece of paper. So
Can you help me with my name after Myra?
yes, for sure. We have about 15 minutes left, right, sister? Sorry, brother Irfan?
Yeah, we can go up to namaz time. It's up to you.
Okay.
Depends how much time you got.
All right, sounds good. I have a little more time today, so it works. All
No
right,
problem.
so we have Myra. So Myra, we're gonna start with the M, right? A capital M, and that's how the capital M normally looks like. So we're gonna start off with our. Oh, my pen is. I might need to switch my marker. Okay, so we have a line going up, and then we're gonna have the downstroke downwards. Just a second. All right. Now we're gonna thicken this downstroke, right? I'm not gonna color it in, but you can do that yourself. So we have the downstroke. We're gonna do the exact same movements to make the second part of the M. Right, so we're gonna go up and down and thicken the downstroke. And once more to complete the M. And I'm just gonna leave the little tail hanging right here. So we're not gonna connect it. We're just gonna leave it hanging, and this will become an underground part, right? So if we had a line right here, this would be underground. Now for the A, we're gonna first start off with the little O stroke, the one that looks like an O, and thicken the down stroke right here. We're gonna add the next stroke, which is, I think, stroke number 3 it was, and thicken the downstroke once again. Let me keep this over here. It might be helpful. Oh, wait, I have them. I have them right here. Okay. Then we have the I, which is again stroke number 3. And thicken the downstroke. We can add the little dot as well. I'm going to just extend the little tail right here. For the letter R, now the letter R, I really like it, but it does take some practice. Because my name has a letter R, I've had a lot of practice with it. So we're going to start off a little higher than the tail, and I like to call it a slide. So we're just going to move diagonally down, and it's a very smooth movement. So I'm just going to grab another piece of paper once again and just to redo that letter.
Wait, I'm just on I, just a minute.
Okay, for sure. For those who do want to practice the letter R, I'm going to do it once more as well. So I'm just going to do it on this paper. This is the beginning.
Can you show me how to do I again? Sorry.
The letter R?
I.
Okay, so the I is just stroke number 3. So we're just going to move down and up. And then thicken the downstroke. And then we can add the dot on top. Now for the letter R, once again, just because it takes a little bit of practice, I have the beginning, tail, the entrance tail. I'm going to start a little bit above the line and make a line going diagonally down. There we go. So it goes down, it flattens out a little, and then down again.
Like this? Can you see?
Just a moment. Yes, so what you want to try though is I see that your tail and your R connect like that.
Yeah.
And so instead of that, I want you to try to make a line going upwards. And now your section going down should connect right here. So you see how we did the beginning part of the R? You're going to have that. I hope, again, you can see. And then we're going to go down again. So we have a little flat section right here. And then we're going to bring the stroke down again. Okay.
I think Akela has a question.
Yes, go ahead, Akela.
Sister Sarah, would you recommend that we have our paper straight? So like for me, example, when I write, I need to have it slightly at an angle. What's easier?
So again, that would depend on the person. I know that's what I used to be like too. I need my paper at an angle. Right now, I've gotten used to having the paper straight. So again, it depends on the person. Whatever is easy for you. What matters is at the end of the day, if you have your paper straight, you want your letters to be at an angle. So if I had a ruler, let's just grab this ruler right here. I can see that my letters are on an angle, right? It's following a diagonal line. So as long as that's happening, it's okay. If your paper is turned a little, just very individual, right? So everyone is different in this case.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. It's just that it's very nice. I like that you wrote your last name as well and it's not connected. Okay, all right, Myra, let's get back to your letter R. So we're gonna thicken the downstrokes. Again, if you haven't perfected the R, it's okay. We're gonna be practicing that, right? So even after today, continue to practice and you'll get better and better at that. And then we have the letter A that we already did earlier. And so I went a little bit quicker here. But we just want to use, again, stroke number 5 for the round part of the A, and then stroke number 3 for the little stick at the end. And you can color that in. All right. I'm not sure if I missed someone saying something, but someone else wanted me to help them with their name as well.
Yeah. Can you help me with my name?
Sure. Who is it? I'm not really sure. Can you raise your hand just so I can see you? Okay, perfect. So Noor, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have Noor. So I'm actually not going to use this N. I'm going to use an N that looks very similar to the N because it's a little bit easier. Okay, we're going to use the letter N that looks very similar. So we're going to start off like an M. So just, from midway, We're going to go up and make a long line. And again, thicken the downstroke. Now you saw how in the M we went up again and then down again. We're going to do the exact same for the N. However, at the end, so I'm going to move up, bring my pen down, and I'm just going to keep going and let the tail, just like the M, kind of hang. And this makes the letters look a little more fancy. You don't have to let it hang. You can also connect it because the M and the N have a natural tail at the end, but I like to just leave it and let it be. And that creates a little bit more of a fancy look. And again, we're gonna thicken the downstroke. Thickening it, going downwards. Now, Noor, your name is actually quite easy because you have 3 letters, right? 3 letters, but 4 times. You have 2 O's. And so once you practice your O, you'll be able to go through the O's very, very quickly. So we have just the stroke number 5. We're gonna start from the middle of the O, bring your pen down, around, and we're gonna make a little loop and the tail. And once again, we're gonna start where the tail is, where the tail ends. We're gonna bring our O down, around, and loop, and leave the tail hanging right there. I'm just thickening the downstrokes. Oh, you know what's awesome? The people who are struggling with the R a little bit, you get another chance to look at the letter R because we're gonna write the letter R for Noor at the end. And so you see how there's a little tail right here? Once again, starting a little above the tail and a little to the left. So there, that's where I'm gonna start. Oh, I don't think you can see that. I made a little dot right there. I'm gonna bring my line down, let the line flatten out a little, and now continue it on an angle and leave the tail at the end hanging.
Sister Sarah.
Can I show you?
Yes, just one moment. Brother Irfan, do you wanna
Yeah, I just had a question. Are there any letters that are particularly hard, like the R, that you can probably show us how to do?
yes, I'm gonna take a look and I'm gonna see which ones are harder, and then yes, we can go through those ones for sure. And who else was speaking? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Can I show you my name?
Yes, and who is
Noor
is it
right
Noor?
there.
Noor,
Yeah.
are you speaking? Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you all for bearing with me with the, raising
No,
your
that's
hands.
fine.
Very, very nice. Okay, perfect.
You.
And
Can you
did you also have a question?
can you help me write my name?
Okay, for sure. I'm not sure if Hadi, do you have a question as well? Yes, go ahead.
How do you write the letter L?
The letter L. Okay, I will go through the letter L, and I'm also going to help, I'm not sure who was speaking again, with their name. So I'll do the letter L.
So because of time constraints, maybe let's have Sister Sarah show us some of the harder letters here, and then that way you can all keep practicing.
Yes, that's actually a good idea. So I'll do the letter L because I know that one seems a little bit confusing as well with the way it's written right here. The capital L, again, doesn't have to be this way, but I will go through the capital L since it's a little bit more complex. We're going to start off with the top. So right here, we're going to start off going downwards. I'm going to bring my pen around, just going to lift it off for a moment. And now I'm going to continue the line going downwards like that. So it's very much like the F at this point. You know, the small letter F that we did right here. It's very much like that. However, we're not going to bring the stroke in and around. We're going to move it the other way. So now that we have our beginning part of the letter L, I'm actually going to make a little loop down here and just leave a little tail. if any of you don't like some of the letters that, the way they look over here, even if you Google hand lettering, you can find a huge variety of different types of letters, and how they look and how people write them differently. And you can choose which ones you want to use and, write that way. I'm just going to thicken the downstrokes again. And we kind of move down over here. So I'm just going to thicken very, 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 very slightly the bottom. And if you want, you can leave the entrance tail like this, or I'm just going to, again, thicken because we did move our pen slightly down here, right? Now for the lowercase L, I normally don't tend to connect the beginning part of the L, but we can. So for example, if I'm writing full, right? I'm gonna, again, write the first two letters really quickly. Okay, we got the first two letters, F-U-L. And so I'm just gonna connect it right here. You see how I was attaching it to the tail? So we have the tail ending right here. So I'm gonna just attach the L like so. I'm gonna do it once more because we have a tail again. So I'm gonna start where the tail ended, make a little loop looking line, then bring the line back down and leave the tail hanging. And now just thicken the downstroke. So we're going up over here. We're gonna leave it thin. Bring our pen and thicken the downstroke. Okay. In terms of, I think we're gonna do the letter B. But letter B is very, very similar to the letter L. So for example, if I want to write the word bubble, bubble, or something smaller, such as, let's do basic because I have the word basic right there. The word basic. Now, again, you can start off with the letter B, just starting off like that, because I'm not going to make it capital. I'll also show you what a capital looks like. You can start the, a lowercase b just like this and make it like so. I will go through it again, do not worry. But I like to be a little more fancy, and I start with a little curved line at the beginning. So like that. I start off here, bring my pen around, and then make a straight line. A straight / curved line. Feel free to also write the letter B like that. So just make a straight line down. I'm going to thicken this line again. And now for the circular part of the B, I'm going to start where I stopped. So right here where the thick line ended, I'm going to bring my pen up, make a little round side, but I'm actually gonna, bring my pen lower than when I, the thick stroke right here. So I'm gonna bring it lower around the back of the thicker line, and I'm actually just gonna make a little tail right there. So it's almost like a loop. So you see how I actually went over the initial thick line of the B. If you want a simpler version, you don't have to do that. But again, if you want a little fancy, that's normally the way I would write it. And again, I'm going to thicken the downstroke. So just going to thicken it. Ended up getting colored. Okay. So a couple of other more difficult letters would be the Q or the P. And I guess we can also do the letter K. Does anyone have, a particular interest in any of those three letters? Because otherwise, I think the rest of them, you've all practiced the strokes that are involved in them. So if you want any letter in particular, please let me know. The most difficult ones, I think, after, the B and the L would be P, Q, and maybe K.
I kind of need help. I want to know how to connect J and I.
J and I, so is it J and then following is I?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do it lowercase, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so actually that's a good one because then we can actually practice the J and the I. So I'm gonna start off with the J. Let's change color so you can see that better. Okay, so we have the letter J. We have a downstroke like that. We're gonna bring it up. So it's underground letter. Little dot, and I'm gonna, again, thicken the downstroke. Now for the letter I, you see how we have the little tail right there? We're just going to connect the letter I like that. So we're gonna start a little above the tail, bring our line down, and again, we're using stroke 3. And that's all, you have it. So we're just gonna thicken the downstroke again, and you got your I right there. Add the little dot, there you go. Were you able to catch that?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I think we should do the letter K just because it might be a little bit confusing for some of you. If you've done cursive, it might look very familiar. So we're gonna try it. So we have the letter K. I'm gonna make it simple again and just start off with a straight line in the beginning. So no, curves or loops. Gonna thicken this stroke. And there's 2 ways of writing the lines for the K. You could, number 1 is just you start like a regular K, you make a little line right there. And in your second line, you're gonna leave a little loop, a little tail at the end. There we go. That's letter K type number 1. Type number 2 is, I'm gonna thicken it. So we're going downstroke, so I'm gonna thicken this line slightly and thicken this part slightly. But letter K type number 2 is, again, we can start off with a simple beginning stroke, right? Going down, thickening it up. And now instead of starting just like from mid-air, we're just gonna start with the line like that. We're actually gonna connect it. So I'm gonna start where I ended the first stroke, move my pen up and around. Now don't move your pen all the way down. We're gonna stop in the middle of the letter. So we're gonna bring it around and connect it to almost the bottom of the K, but not really. We need some space to do the second line. So it looks like, when you tie a bow and there's a little loop, it looks very much like that. We have a little loop and then second line, bring it down and leave a little tail. And once again, if you want to thicken the downstroke, we're gonna thicken the stroke right here. And again, right here.
I have a question.
Yes.
How long did it take you to write the whole letter, all of the letters?
These ones?
Yeah.
It doesn't take me too long. I didn't time myself, but I would say around 15 minutes. But again, that's after a lot of practice.
That's what it comes down to, right? Is make sure if you want to get as good as Sister Sarah is here, you just have to keep practicing.
And even this, by the way, I did do it in pencil first, and then I went over it with marker because I didn't want to make a mistake. And so I made sure I'm going to write it with pencil first and then go over it. So let's say half an hour, 15 times 2.
I just feel comfortable working in pencil. I don't know, like you're not afraid to make a mistake.
Yes, and actually I think I started with pencil, and so that's a very safe way to play it as well.
I just put the markers away. I started using the pencil because I just feel more comfortable.
Yeah, and actually the pencil gives a very nice look. Sometimes if you write on like colored paper with pencil and the light shining upon it, it actually looks like silver. And so I've sent my sister pictures of that and she's like, whoa, is that silver? And I'm like, no, it's just pencil. It's reflecting.
I have another question.
Yes, go ahead.
How long did it take you to be so good at calligraphy?
That's very nice of you to say, but I've been doing it for 4 years now. And so I think initially I started practicing for about 6 to 7 months. And then I started posting things because I was like, oh, I want to put my work out there and just, I want to post my artwork. And so I started writing and like posting it. And then I just practiced on my own time. So I would have papers all over my desk. I would use all my sister's scrap homework paper that she would have lying around after, you're done your work and you just want to leave it around. I would use all of that and write letters all over. So she would be very upset with me saying, Sarah, what are you doing? Like all my paper, you're messing it up. But that was my practice. So yeah, don't feel afraid to use whatever scrap paper you have. Don't throw away your scrap paper, recycle it. Instead, use it for your calligraphy practice.
Yeah, you can practice writing nice letters to your scouters and thanking them.
Oh, yes. You can
There you
make
go.
cards with that as well.
Kumail's got a question, I think.
Yes, go ahead, Kumail.
How come the uppercase A is not like a proper written uppercase?
So there is an actual proper uppercase as well. I thought it was a little too loopy, and so I didn't write it. But if you would want me to write that, I can. Usually, we can also use that as an easy uppercase letter A, but I can also write an uppercase letter A on this paper right here. So normally what it would be, okay, I'm going to start down here. Or not even normally, just one of the styles is.
Teacher?
Yes?
Can you, please move your paper a little bit so I can see the lowercase a? H?
Lowercase, here, perfect.
Thank you.
Better?
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so we have the letter A. I'm going to start off like that. And I'm actually going to have a little bit more of a curve right here so we can make the second stroke. I'm going to thicken the downstroke right here.
Is this A kind of like the cursive A? Because the cursive A is also very loopy.
You know what? I'm going to be honest and say I'm starting to forget some of the actual letters of cursive because I've been practicing with calligraphy for a while. So I'm going to write it and then you let me know if it's very similar to cursive, okay? All right, so I have the second stroke. I'm going to start up here and bring this down and around. And I'm just going to thicken it again. Ooh, it's not very thick, but there we go. Now, there's, again, 2 ways of doing the second part. So this is where you would attach the second letter. But 2 ways of doing the little line of V8. You can just make a line like so. Or I usually like to connect this initial stroke and make it like that. And then you can attach your next letter over here. So if you have, for example, an H, you can add an H, any other letter. I hope that answered your question. So that is another style of an A, but this was just an easy one if you don't want to, create lots and lots of loops.
Oh, thank you.
No problem. Okay. If anyone is comfortable sharing their work, please do so. I would be really, really happy to see more work.
Go on, let's see what everybody's done.
Very nice. I really like. Oh, did you draw the wolf at the end? That's amazing. Wow.
Cubs were a pack, were wolves.
Yeah, that's amazing. Very, very nice. Okay, did anyone else have any requests for specific letters? Just want to double check. Because at this point, I think we've generally covered everything, but if anyone still has any outstanding questions or just, you're curious, yes.
This is Hadi talking. How do you write the letter D in lowercase?
In lowercase? Okay, sure. I will cover that in just a moment. And Sister Zahara, do you have a question as well?
Yeah, maybe after Hadi.
Oh, okay. Thank you. All right. So we have the letter D. Okay, I'm going to start with the letter O just because, for example, if we're writing the word food, right? We're going to connect it with the letter O. So here we have the letter O. Now to make the letter D, we're first going to start off with our stroke number 5. And we're going to, create the little round part of the D. There we go. I'm going to thicken the downstroke again. And now, you know where we ended the first, the round part of the D? We're going to put our pen there, bring our pen up and around. And then we're going to leave a little loop at the end. Were you able to catch that, Hadi?
Yes, thank you.
No problem. All right, and I'm going to just thicken the downstroke again. All right, Sister Tahira, go ahead.
I just wanted to know calligraphy number.
Oh, numbers. Actually, I
Yeah.
don't know calligraphy numbers. I normally just use the same rules of thickening all the downstrokes. And
Okay.
I normally just do that. So for example, if I
Okay.
have the number 1, if you would write it like that, that's not a very
Okay.
nice number 1, but if you would write it like that, I would just thicken the downstroke right here.
Okay.
Yes. Or did you
Okay.
mean like the written form of the numbers? I was
No, that's exactly what I
Oh,
meant.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would just use the same rules of like thickening the downstrokes and go with
Okay.
that.
Should I use the strokes too, like depending on the number?
You mean like these strokes?
Yeah.
I don't think it's normally necessary because it's
No.
not so much following how
Mm,
a number is written.
okay.
But the basic rule of calligraphy is just use thickening all the downstrokes and leaving the upper strokes, thin.
Sounds good. Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
I have another question.
Sure, go ahead.
It's kind of like random, but are you as good as drawing as you are as writing?
Very nice of you to say so. Thank you. I mean, to think that or even ask that. But I don't think so. Honestly, calligraphy has nothing to do with even your handwriting. I've seen people who've told me I have really bad handwriting. Like they would tell me themselves, right? Like, oh, listen, like my handwriting is terrible, but my calligraphy is amazing. And I'm like, yes, like even for me, I'm not, the best handwriter or like my writing is not the best, my printing. But in calligraphy, you can always, practice and get better. And you can practice your printing as well. So I don't think it has a definite link with your art or your drawing, but you can definitely, if you like art, you might be good at both. And you
Rory
can.
has a question.
Yes.
Teacher,
Yes.
how do you like connect an N with an A? Because like the N has the connecting thing at the top.
Oh, you mean the capital N right here?
Yeah.
So normally with the capital N like this, we wouldn't connect the letter with it. But if you did want to connect the letter with the, like the N with the next letter, you could use this form of an N and then just connect it to this.
Oh, okay, thank
But
you.
normally, again, capitals won't like normally connect it. So I'll just leave the little end hanging, or in this case, I would just leave the end like that and start the next letter from scratch.
Jory, you got a question? I see you raised your hand. Thank you for doing that. What's your question? Make sure you unmute. There you go.
Is that correct?
That's very nice. I'm just going to pin you for a second just so I can see it a bit better. Very nice. I like how you wrote your name as well.
Is it like correct or not correct?
Which one are you talking about? I really like the top one is really well done.
Like, is that one correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
The second one is also correct. The third one is also correct, and so is the fourth.
I think that's the beauty about calligraphy, right? There's some level of creative or like artistic flexibility.
Yes, and you're doing it really well. I like how all your letters are also on an angle.
Thank you. Teacher, how do you connect an N with, an A with an R?
An A with an R. Okay, I'm gonna write a letter A. Oh, I shouldn't do that there. I'm gonna move it around. Okay, so we're starting an A right here. We have an A, and we have the little tail at the end, right, like that. So now to connect the R with this, We're going to start the R a little bit above. So you see where the dot is? That's where we're going to start the R. A little bit above and to the left of the tail. Now we're going to make a line going down. Let it flatten out. And then again, continuing where we stopped, we're going to bring our line again down and leave the little tail hanging right there. And then again, thicken the downstrokes. We're going to thicken it right there and right here. My bad, this shouldn't be there. I hope that answered your question.
I have a question.
Yes.
Sajia?
In calligraphy, you said we don't have to like keep our pencil on the paper. What if we're so used to it, then we can just keep our pencil on the paper the whole time?
That's amazing.
Then you're going to be teaching the next session.
Yes. So I think the one thing is with calligraphy, when you know how we leave a lot of the little tails hanging? In that case, you would have to lift your pen off the paper. But if you can write the rest of the letters without lifting your pen off the paper, amazing. And if you need to lift your pen off the paper, there is no need to feel bad about it. It's totally acceptable as well. Okay. All right, just with the time in mind, should we be wrapping up right now?
Yeah, just I guess we just wanted to ask you. I know there's some youth here that are very interested in trying this out. What should they do to get better? Is there somewhere, just go on the internet, look up different calligraphy letters and keep practicing, or?
Yes. So actually, Tombow USA, which sells a lot of like pens and stuff, they actually have free worksheets online that I've downloaded. So if I might be able to send that to you, and you can send it out to them. They have templates and practice worksheets for everyone. You can download them from their website as well. And so that's one great place to start. They give you like practice sheets. They make you practice, the different strokes. I'm not sure if they have the basic strokes, but they have different, ways to practice with your pen. That's a great place. But other than that, yes, you can look it up on Google as well. There's a lot of images. If you want a specific letter, I usually just type calligraphy letter S or calligraphy letter R or whatever letter you want. And you get a huge, variety of options that you can look at and practice with. But again, it comes down to practice. So, use again your scrap pieces of paper, any little bit of space that you have, not on your walls, but on your papers. You can use any little space and just, practice your lettering and get better at it that way.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it's a matter of just constantly trying and practicing. And if you have any questions, or if it's a session that you really enjoy, we can do it for one of our Fridays again. Thank you so much, Sister Sarah. Is there anything else you wanted to share with us?
Not really, but thank you so much for allowing me to lead this session. It was really fun, and I really appreciate everyone's, active participation. So thank you. Yeah,
thank you. No, just I guess for our viewers, you wanted to share your Instagram again? I forget what it was.
Should I put it in the chat for those?
Yeah, you can even say it out loud. There's some people watching online, so.
Well, my Instagram is Sarah M Calligraphy. So I'm gonna write it in the chat, but also spell it out. So again, Sarah with an H, SARAH, M Calligraphy on Instagram. Maybe should I write it down? Maybe for those of you who need to see it.
You have to write it in calligraphy letters.
Oh my goodness. Might be easy to write it,
No, go and write it down.
I know for sure. But I mean, here, let me write it down here. So it is, again, all lowercase. Someone had asked the question about if your handwriting and or your drawing and calligraphy are equally as good. You can judge my writing right now and see if what do you think? It's not the best.
Little @ sign at the beginning. Perfect.
Okay,
there we go. Okay, amazing. Thank you so much. What do we say, Scouts?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can we give Sister Sarah a round of applause? Yeah. Can we give a round of applause?
Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you so much again, and we really enjoyed it. I hope everybody else enjoyed it as much as I did.
hope so too. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay. Stop.